We're living at a moment of reboots, right? Whether it's the Roseanne reboot or some of these old television shows, or in fact, more properly said, revivals on Broadway now. Has there been discussion of having it come back again? Would you entertain that?
Yeah, but you need to wait a bit, for it to kind of settle. But yeah, I mean, I expect it to be like Cabaret and, coming back every few years.
Yeah. New audiences discover.
yeah.
I mean, in part what you're doing with the touring production of The Origin of Love right now is introducing this to an audience of people who were maybe not literally not alive at the time that the play first appeared, but not far from that, right?
It's a beautiful thing in that it's generally been direct word of mouth is how people heard about it.
Right.
Kids hearing about it from their parents.
Yep.
I've heard a lot of people who say when they started dating someone, they show them the film, and if the other person doesn't like it,
Up or down.
Yeah, they
Doesn't
don't
work.
continue. I like being a litmus
The Hedvig test. That's actually good. I like that. The Hedvig test. Okay, that's pretty good. Do you pass the Hedvig test?
Yeah, there's a short bus test, which is a different test.
No, that's a whole.
Yeah.
That's not a PBS conversation.
No, and that's not a
so
first date. That's down the line.
Have you enjoyed? So you mentioned Short Bus. You famously directed Nicole Kidman to an Oscar nomination some years ago. You've done a lot of really interesting things with a bunch of really interesting folks. You've been able to be on this side of the camera, that side of the camera. Which do you prefer?
I really like it all. I need it all. I act lately really more for the money, but I have great jobs with great people. I mean, a show called Shrill.
Yeah, we were talking beforehand about I think this is a really great show. This is a Hulu series, Adie Bryant of Saturday Night Live.
I love her. I love it.
Which is now about to be, as we sit here in mid-January of 2020, the second season of this show on Hulu will debut just in a couple days, which you're in.
Yeah.
Right. You were in, of course, Girls.
Right.
The Lena Dunham series on HBO.
She actually got me out of retirement because after Hedvig, I was so burned out that I stopped acting for about 15 years.
Yeah.
And I met her at her premiere of Girls, and she was like, Hedvig? And later she texted asked if I wanted to play her editor.
Right.
Which is how I get jobs now, by text.
The world's changed.
Yes.
Right?
Instagram, I did cast a lead in my new podcast on Instagram.
Right.
But I was so nervous going back to acting, and she was this young kid, and I'm the older figure, and the jokes are like, "Who's that old man?" I'm like, "Oh, great."
Could they be? Are they talking about me? Yes, they are. So actually, both in Girls and in Shrill, you're playing a version of the same character.
It's a
right? You're both
similar
playing
kind
editors.
of an arrogant editor. I'm also playing a kind of right-wing Trump gay in The Good Fight, a show that I love very much.
Right.
With opposite Christine Baranski, who's my nemesis.
But this is great. I mean, you're still continuing to do, and you have the latitude to pick.
Yeah.
The things that you want to do.
So the acting is supporting Mom and just paying the bills while I do the other stuff, such as Anthem Homunculus.
Right.